resub while we were out. Hey, Dano. No, I should be live. I'll double check, but it looked like it was up. Yeah, it looks like we're live. Yeah, probably. If Magic Online ever comes back. Probably a Twitch hiccup. I haven't dropped any frames. I need to work on standard some more. No, it looks like it was a Twitch hiccup. Hey, Durfiend, Kitchen Finks. We're definitely playing standard today. Timing to be determined. I want to play at least a couple matches with this Uzzu cannon deck, but this deck's been gas so far. Yep, hand's great. It's like has an accelerant in it, has some 4-drops. This is a deck that won the 5-shard Cup of Fate. It's basically a mono wild deck splashing Sapphire and Ruby. Hey, Immortals. I'm gonna play a couple matches with this, and hopefully after we play a couple matches of Hex, Magic Online will be back up. I need to play some more standard, find something I want to play this weekend. So we play our wild chart out, so we can go ahead and Wellspring for 1 here. Basically just extra Chlorophyllias in this deck. Discard, so for 2 it ramps us 1, for 4 it ramps us 2, etc. It's a deck you lost to in the finals. Oh, you lost to this in the finals of the monthly as well? This deck's really good. I want to go ahead and play Sapphire Shootout here, and I'm going to lead on Cluck because I'd much rather this get countered than my Wrathwood Moss Monster get countered. Young Seer, sure. So he's still representing counter magic. I think I'm jamming this. Yeah, I'm just going to jam this, because I'd like Eternal Sage to resolve too, more than this, I think. So just like sequencing our threats in order, like the order we care about them the least, yep. So Reed was good that he had counter magic. Ship, play out the Shard of Savagery as a Ruby. Next turn we have the choice between Eternal Sage and Balthazar. If he taps out, I might just play Balthazar. This card draws us cards and gains us like equal to the highest power and toughness among troops we control. So if he uses his resources up here, we get to draw 4 with this, which is not bad. Empowered Cyclone Shaper. That was a good beats opponent. Something good for Young Seer to hit. Edge of Fate Sorceress is not bad. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning on that. You can have counter magic up here because counter magic's now only cost him 1. Sweet. So Spell Shield is obnoxious, so hopefully my opponent's just dead now. We don't have a way to get this off the table when it's a 4-6 in game 1. I don't think we have a way in the 75 actually to take this off the table. So we want to draw a shard that makes a temporary resource this turn so we can play... Oh wait, that doesn't do it. Ruby Shard would be good. Wild Shard's not bad. So I can go ahead and play Eternal Sage here, and it's going to come in and deal damage to my opponent equal to its power. So it's going to deal 5 here. And then, I'm going to go ahead and play my wild shard out. I think Sapphire is one of the stronger colors in this game for sure. So every time we play, we gain a threshold. Now this does something different. So we're gonna go ahead and this comes into play when I get that, and gives this +3/+3 till end of turn, which is great. I'm gonna go ahead and just ship for 7 here. Gets the chump. Not surprising. I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn here. This deck feels obnoxiously powerful. When it's doing the things it wants to do, it's tough to beat for sure. Alright, so I'd be pretty surprised if we lose this game after we gas up with Balthazar next turn. So next turn, we're going to... sure, you get to jump it. That's fine. So next turn, we get to activate Uzzu. And... we activate Uzzu and get Wild to make our Eternal Sage an 8/8. Wild Shard would be great. Cluckdon's not bad. So we activate this, which gives me a threshold of my choice. So we're going to choose to get a Wild Threshold, because Wild Threshold gives target troop +3/+3, so it gives our Eternal Sage +3/+3 here. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Balthazar. So we're going to draw 8 cards and gain 8 life here. Yeah. That happened. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play I'm going to play a Sapphire Shard out here. And this lets me exhaust a troop and doesn't unexhaust. It did just happen. Yep, I was like, what is going on? We drew 8 and 7 of them were shards. Correct, yeah, like we're not going to flood out on them, so that's fine. We're probably still okay. Now the question is, am I okay trading Eternal Sage for his Runeer and his Rhinoceros? Yeah, I think I am. I think that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to attack with this and this, actually. Just ship with both of these. He's at 9. And this guy doesn't ready during his next ready step. And we're at 22, so like that gave us a life buffer in addition to drawing us a bunch of cards, so... Yep, damage. Hey, Murderpunk. Oh no, we have to discard. We're so unlucky. Rats. You can even play Hex completely for free should you want to. You don't have to put any money into the game. Well, that was one of the better cards our opponent could have had there, and it hit that prophecy, so this is now... whenever we draw a card, our opponent draws a card. Hopefully, he just can't interact with our Borean Root Father next turn, and this kills him. Turbulence. Sure, man. Chicken is dead. So if opponent doesn't have counter magic, they should be dead next turn. Yep, we're playing 2 matches of Hex, and then we're going to... hopefully Magic Online will be back up. Magic Online might even be up real soon. I'd like to play at least 2 matches of this, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm gonna throw away this and block his 6/6 here. Oh, that was kind of loose, because I guess if this comes into play, it guaranteed... I guess it gives him another Rhino, though. That's kind of funny. I think I just play the Borean Root Father here. This just kills them if it doesn't get counter magicked. Opponent concedes. MTGO has almost weekly downtime, which is intentional time that they take the game offline, which is stupid. I think I want Gale Force in this. I think I want Gale Force in this matchup. Like, opponents like jumping their troops and stuff. Transmography doesn't seem awful either. Eye of Creation seems fine. What cards don't seem good? Crocosaur doesn't seem great. Opponent doesn't have a lot of things that this fights and kills profitably. Cluckdon seems medium, but I think it's better than Croc. That may or may not be correct. Yeah, it's just like board and some more removal and an extra Eye of Creation here. See how this feels. These at least kill the young seers. Get them out of the way so they can't block. Saint's great. Keep it. Opponent mulligan to 6. Has a youngster in 1. That's pretty good. We are going to have our accelerant, though. We've actually got 3. This hand technically, has to, Azure Fate Sorceress was a nuts draw there. Because we have a triple accelerant draw here. We get to go Howling Brave on 1 into Tap Shard, Chlorophilia, Howling Brave on 2, and then get our Azure Fate Sorceresses going. Yeah, man, no blocks. That missed free point of damage. The old Young Seer, Shrink My Young Seer is the worst non-bow ever. Chlorophilia. And actually, since we drew another Chlorophilia here, I'm going to... So Chlorophilia, because it just plays the shard directly out of our deck, it gives us a resource to use right away. So we're just going to play that Shard Prism out and Chlorophilia again, and then play another Howling Brave here. Just running it off. This is Uzzu Cannon, correct. No blocks. I did Immortals. I skimmed it. If he plays anything other than... God, he hit this thing again? That's so good. Hopefully he doesn't have counter magic. If he has counter magic here, we're kind of ranched. Well, that's pretty good. I need Sapphire Shard to play this. Let's go ahead and activate this and get Sapphire. I'm going to go ahead and play this and get Ruby, so this deals damage when it comes into play. It does make you internet famous. Play this, and he could counter magic this, but like we have a possible eye of... Ooh, that's pretty good for us. Our opponent does not have counter magic because they definitely would have countered this. That's my read at least there. Two Eye of Creations, you say? I kind of want an Eye for 4 here, I think. So this is basically Genesis Wave. We pay X past 3 and reveal the top X cards of our deck, and we put any troops from among them into play. We hit 1 Azure Fate Sorceress. That's not great. I guess it's going to let us combo kill him pretty quickly here. The other ones get discarded? No, they go back into the deck. And this card is so dumb. I'm not going to be sad when this card rotates out. Just like so many of the obnoxious things that happen in this game get enabled by Azure Fate. And actually, this right now, this deck, the reason why this deck is sweet is because it just abuses, opponent just concedes. This deck abuses the 2 most busted gems on Azure Fate. Like, the Azure Fate in this deck is Spell Shield, and when it comes into play, deal damage. And, like, those are the 2 gems I cannot wait to disappear. Like, Azure Fate would be a sweet card if those gems didn't exist. Right now, it's just, like, super... Your gems will rotate at some point. So the sets will rotate too at some point, but I believe gems are rotating before sets from what I've heard. I don't have, there's nothing official, obviously. What does this hand do? I think this is our first mulligan. Double Sapphire is not great. We just don't have any acceleration. Yeah, I think we want acceleration game one. Yeah, I'm gonna go 5. Double Balthazar is not good. This hand's actually pretty reasonable if we hit a wild shard. Yeah, Spell Shield is definitely the card the gem that needs to go away. Do not like that. I definitely agree that Spell Shield is part of the issue. Alright, how lucky are we? No, not lucky yet. Not lucky yet. There's a few sacrifice effects in Hex, but like the decks that like play these spell shield idiots like are full of troops. So like sacrifice effects are not good. You need like extinction, a good quality 4 mana sweeper. Like that's what you need. I'm probably just gonna die here. If we don't hit a shard this turn, I'll concede. Or Sapphire shard, Ruby shard, whatever. Yeah, wild shard is what I meant. Alrighty, opponent's probably playing the same deck that our last opponent was playing. It's something popular, it seems. Actually, I kind of don't mind Mass Poly Dingler, right? They have minimal counter magic. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. Let's do that. I have creation seemed like poop. We paid 7 and got like an Azure Fate Sorceress out of it. I agree with my assessment that Croc is not great. Is Transmogrifate actually good? Maybe I'm supposed to leave. Just go like 2 of these and leave these in. Put in an extra Cluck maybe. Sure, let's try this. Seems loosey goosey. Maybe I could click to keep too quickly. No, we need a second wild shard. We're gonna be okay. It isn't even that Boggles is the best deck in Hex. It's just that when you staple Spell Shield onto troops that are already reasonable, it's like if you had a card in Magic that was like, this card is hexproof, and all the other cards you play is hexproof. Like that card would probably be busted as well, especially if it was like super customizable. Because this is more than that. Like the sweet thing that this deck does is that Azure Fate Sorceress plus Wrathwood Wasp Monster means your Wrathwood Moss Monster can basically never die unless they have something like what's the blood constant that voids things. So Azure Fate Sorceress gives your guy, when it comes into play, deal damage, and Wrathwood Moss Monster says when this dies, return it to play as this, and then this does damage excuse me, to your opponent equal to its power, so it automatically transforms back into this 5/5 closed coffins. Yeah, so like closed coffins aside, Wrathwood Moss Monster plus Azure Fate Sorceress is just real stupid. Alright, well, turn late on that. Let's go ahead and play Artisanal Cheesesmith out here, and then if we hit any shard that makes a temporary charge next turn, we can Wellspring for 2. Yeah, gemming as a whole is a net positive. I think Spell Shield gem is awful, and the direct damage gem actually is kind of annoying as well. I wouldn't mind those two going away. Alright, we hit a shard. Now the real question is... Yeah, I'm actually just going to get our combo online here. I'm going to go ahead and activate this and get a Ruby Gem. I'm going to go ahead and play Azure Fate Sorceress out, and then next turn we play Wrathwood Moss Monster if he doesn't have counter magic up, and we just get to ranch him. Usually they can't beat Wrathwood Azure Fate outside of getting their Mass Polymorph Dingler. Alright, well, this is good for us. I'm assuming he's not attacking here because he doesn't want to trade with Cheesmith. Yeah, sweet. So then this turn, Wrathwood Moss Monster comes down, and we just get to get him, basically. So Wrathwood is basically unkillable outside of a sweeper, outside of like a mass polymorph dingler or some kind of void effect. Because again, if he kills this, it comes back and then deals damage and flips back again. No attacks here, obviously. Opponent's probably got a Green Paw Emancipator here. Yep, that's fine. I don't really care about any of this. Let's see if he attacks in it. Oh, he has Flight, right? Okay. So he gets a couple of uses out of this. We'll gain some life here at some point with Dragon Valley Brie. I'm going to play Succulent, Cluckadon here. Ooh, Eternal Sage. It's unfortunate we're stumbling on resources here a bit. We're going to go ahead and play this out. When it comes into play, it's going to fight something that costs 1 or less, and it's also going to deal damage to... Oh, this is -1, so I can't fight. It has to be exactly 1. Okay. So when this comes into play, it gains us 4 life, and then it gets Azure Fate's text, so it's Spell Shield and does damage equal to its power to my opponent. It also fights something that costs 1, which my opponent had 1 of. So we just need to not die to this silly thing being jumped. We might lose. There's a world where we lose this race. If he has if he runs off 2 more shards here, if he has a Green Paw Emancipator and has another shard in hand, we're gonna be in trouble. Okay, if he's just hitting us for 7, that's good. Brown Fox Scout, sure. So we just need to get 10 power worth of troops into play here at some point. Another Cluckadon. Okay. So... I think I'm just supposed to play this out. If he has Counter Magic, he has Counter Magic. He does... Yeah, I think we're probably going to lose this. It's not looking good. We might even be dead on board. I haven't counted. He jumps this. We block 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're dead on board. With a shard, we're dead on board. Cheese Goliath only does 7. Yeah, it just stumbled, mulliganed out of the first game, then stumbled a little bit too much in this game. Magic Online alive yet? Really need to play Standard. Head to attack with all button. Alright, 3 and 1. These are queuing fast, which is nice. Another mulligan. 10 super reasonable. We're going to try something new in Standard again this afternoon. All the MTGO crossover players are playing Hex. Yeah, fair. Get Sapphire Shard here. See if he's got a Brave or a Seer here. One drop's good for us. Another Chlorophylia is great for us. Let's go ahead and play this. So we run a shard off here. We get to curve Azure Fate into Sage. Start of your turn, you gain 1, sure. Opponent's deck is likely not interacting with us, which is generally a bad thing for them because our deck is really good at not being when it's not being interacted with. Let's go ahead and get our Ruby shard here. I'm gonna play Azure Fate out just on the off chance we run off shards the next couple turns. I think I'd like to just get this online ASAP. This is kind of a ramp combo deck. We have a lot of acceleration, but it uses Azure Fate Sorceress as like an enabler for like combo killing your opponent. Opponent appears to be playing an acceleration deck as well. As Ruiner Hierophant, okay. So a shard that makes a temporary charge this turn will be off to the races. Alright, well, I have Chlorophylia at least. The fact that we missed a shard drop this turn does mean we're just going to be playing a turn behind, though. Which is unfortunate. Another Ruinier. That's unfortunate. Alright, so obviously we're not blocking this one, so he's going to get a Rhino when it hits us. But then next turn, we're going to go ahead and play this Croc out instead of the Eternal Sage. So we'll play Croc out. When Croc comes into play, it gets inspired by the Azure Fate, so it gets to deal damage equal to its power to my opponent, and it also gets to fight 2 things. And my opponent's missed a couple of shard drops here as well, so the fact that we're killing this Lyris is probably good for us. Yeah, the Azure Cannon deck is one of my favorites right now. I think this is the deck I'm going to be writing about next for my series on xccu.com, though, so I want to log some games with it. Also, even if I don't write about it, this deck's definitely like popular in the format, and like having experience playing against popular decks is valuable. So it's probably just a pass because he doesn't want to like trade this for 4 points of damage. Yeah, shard. I need to be more specific when I wish for shards. So all right, let's play out Eternal Sage. Eternal Sage will get inspired by Azure Fate Sorceress, which means it's going to deal damage equal to its power to my opponent. Yep, you. The question is, am I attacking here? So I get a wild, and it lets me give this +3/+3 for my Eternal Sage. I could crunch for 8 here. He like has to block, right? Yeah, I just crunch for 8. He has to block. Give it, right? I've given you what you asked for. Be happy, human. Yeah, their articles thing on the front page definitely needs some work. I might have to create a list of like articles I've written on the bottom of my own site here. All right, so he crunches. I think I'm trading this. Yeah, I'm just gonna trade my Eternal Sage for his 5/5 here and take 6. He gets a Rhino. Let's go ahead and play Balthazar out, so we're going to gain 6 and draw 5 and deal 1 damage to my opponent. I think I'm just passing the turn here. Yeah, I'm just passing the turn here. I have Balthazar to throw away in front of this Ruinier Hierophant this turn. Croc can eat this. Unless he draws a shard. If he has a shard, he can activate his champion power and make this bigger. And then I'm just taking 6. Yeah, assume he's going to crunch, throw away Balthazar. And then opponent is dead here because we drew a shard. So we play this shard, and then we play Wrathwood Moss Monster, which deals damage equal to its power to my opponent because of Azure Fate Sorceress, so take 5. And then we play Cluckadon, which deals damage equal to its power to my opponent because of Azure Fate Sorceress, and they die. They take 4. We also get to kill this guy and gain some life, but details. Opponent's playing a deck just full of troops, so Mass Polymorph Dingler sounds great. Boring Rootfather seems like it's probably a little bit slow. Crux seems reasonable against a lot of what my opponent's doing. Eye of Creation seems mediocre. Doesn't seem like an unreasonable cut. Kind of want to cut this and bring in an extra Cluckadon because it gains life. I also just don't like Eye of Creation as a card. It's high variance. You see why the gem is busted? Yeah, it's both the gems on Azure Fate are really good. Like this deck's abusing the two most obnoxious Azure Fate gems. Accelerant? Yeah, this thing's kind of slow. Opponent chose to play, and they kept 7. I think I'm obligated to mulligan this, which we could get punished with an awkward hand. This hand needs a wild shard for this to be an accelerant, but I think this is better. Not planning to play any Yoltul today. Basically just playing. We're playing a few matches with Uzzu Cannon here, and then we're gonna play a new standard deck that I want to give a try for this weekend once Magic Online is alive again. And today's not gonna be a super long stream. I need to go. Actually, after this game, regardless if we win or lose, I need to put my oldest down for his nap. Wild Shard. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Bum 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 dun 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 dun. So we just get to do busted things to our opponent. This turn we play Sapphire Shard. Oh, this doesn't give us a charge. Right. Okay. I don't know why I had it in my head that gave me a charge. No, the new deck is something that's all me. It's probably bad, but it's definitely all me. So I can play Moss Monster. I can play Azure Fate Sorceress, but I can't activate this yet. I'm going to play the Azure Fate out here. It blocks his 1-2. It has Spell Shield. If we hit any shard that makes a temporary charge next turn, we go play Shard, play Chlorophilia, activate this for Ruby, and then play Wrathwood Moss Monster. Fine. No call. This could be a chump check, but I'm not risking this trade for something weird. Shard. Alright, that's not the worst. It lets us go Chlorophilia into Cheesesmith, which can block his Spell Shield Dork. Just pass the turn here. We're all dug up. Our sewer is fixed, and they will be billing us shortly, I'm sure. What does he have? I guess we're gonna find out what his trick is this turn. Block. I just have to get savaged by something. Oh, he mistimed this, right? Oh, he just wants to trade it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, trade's fine there. Clicked on. Alright, so we're gonna activate this, get a ruby shard. Because this turns on, because we need a ruby. We need a ruby for this damage gem to work. Now we gotta decide what we want to play out here. I almost just want to croc him. Cheesesmith has Azure Fate Sorceress only inspires cards that cost more than her, equal to or more than her. So since Cheesesmith is a 3-drop, that doesn't work. Yeah, I think I definitely want to croc here. He's been missing shards, so like killing his guy that's accelerating him is valuable. And then I get to also get in with Azure Fate Sorceress here. I think that's fine. This is also spell shield, so like if he attacks, then I can block pretty safely. This deck's super powerful. And this is spell. God, spell shield is so dumb. It's just so dumb. We draw a shard next turn. We get to just play Balthazar. God, no play would be so good for us. Even I don't know, anything for 3. I'm not even sure worried about. Maybe a 4-drop could be scary. Gain 3 life, sure. He's probably just playing that as a gain 3 or wild gem. No, I did not. What is this? Start your turn. This is XX, where X is the highest cost on troops you control. Target troop in your hand. Interesting. So if we hit a shard that makes temporary charge next turn, we're going to gain 6 and draw 5 when we play Balthazar and deal a point of damage. But they gain 6, draw 5 is the important part there. If we miss, I'm probably just going to play Wrathwood Moss Monster. Nah, I just go all in. Let them see the sweet things that can happen in Hex. Again, with this is what I said we wanted, but it's not exactly what we wanted. I have Mass Polymorph Dingler in my deck post reserves here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get that. Yeah, we're just gonna get the unkillable Moss Monster into play. Deal you 5 up top, good sir. Just gonna pass the turn here. This is gonna become a. This is a 5/5. Highest cost, yeah. So this is going to become a 5/5, so I'd like to be able to block his things when he attacks next turn. I really do. I need to be more specific. You're not wrong. Yeah, this game should be over. I think this game was pretty over when the Croc came down, but I'd be very surprised if we lose from this position. One shot makes one of the things in his hand bigger. Make all of his guys a little bigger. This isn't even that profitable of an attack for him. He can, like, kill the Croc, but then this comes back into play and does infinite damage to him. Even his attacks here aren't great. Because, like, he ships, I'm just going to chump with the Croc and block with this. Actually, I might double these up and trade with this and just take 6. Yeah, that seems fine. Although then he doesn't guaranteed kill Wrathwood. Yeah, I think we need a double block here. Just get this off the table. He'll kill Croc, but... Okay, we go to 4. That's fine. Belth comes down and does his thing. Draw 5, gain 5, deal a damage to you. Yeah, I know how much damage he takes. I think I'd rather take a little damage myself, though, and get his troops off the table. My toddler actually fell asleep on the floor behind me, so I think I'm just going to leave him there. He's happy napping. No attacks here, right? Your attacks just, like, suck all around. Yeah, blocks. This doesn't have crush, right? Oh, yeah. And this comes back, and it does damage equal to its power to this twice. The first time it does damage, it flips it, and then the second one will do 5, because it'll be flipped back. And then next turn, we just, like, play our 8th shard, and then go boop boop and kill him. Yeah, so he's just gonna die here. That attack wasn't fantastic on his part, or their part. Play the old Clucky out. Gain 4, deal 4. Play my Moss Monster, deal 5. Well, we're 4-1. I'm just trying to finish it out. Is Moto back yet? Alright. Magic Online is back online. Let's update. I did not get a chance to look at it, Judah, yet. My favorite deck in Hex is definitely Azure Cannon right now. Vistas of the Masquerade is one of my favorite cards. The deck's just like super consistent and powerful. This is going to be our last match of Hex for the day. I do need to... I need to practice Standard for the Open this weekend. Wellspring's been medium. Wellspring's been playable. Let's say playable. I don't think it's great, but it's definitely been playable. All right, I'll build this deck in a second. Play first. Keep hands. Hand's great. It's got an accelerant. Sounds great. I haven't played it nearly as many matches with Uzzu Cannon yet, but this deck's probably more powerful than Azure Cannon on like a raw power level, but I think it's less consistent. And I like consistency more than anything. Like especially now that Azure Cannon has what's the word I'm looking for? 8 dual shards with the dwarf shards. The mana base, the resource base is even super consistent too. So opponent looks to be playing the Rabbit Rock deck. Yep, that's what they're playing. This is Spell Shield and Rhino. Yep. He brick died and Cottontail Explorer. That feels real bad. Been there, done that, bud. Shard is a great draw. Lets me play out Wrathwood Wasp Monster. This card's just fantastic against the deck my opponent's playing in general because it's resilient to removal. So people that don't understand what this card does, they haven't really talked about it. This is a 5/5. Then when it dies, it turns into a 2/2 and comes back into play. And then when this 2/2 deals damage to my opponent, it turns back into the 5/5. So it's just like a card that's like super hard to kill. Wow, 2 Cottontails and only hit 1 shard between them. That feels bad. Been there. We're just going to go ahead and crunch in with Wrathwood next turn. And then I think I'm actually going to lead on cycling the Aborian Rootfather here. Yeah, so this card is just an 8/8 for 7 with 2 gems, so we got to customize it. But we can pay 2 and put it back in my deck, and then draw a new card. And the next time we draw that card, it'll cost less resources. So I'm going to play the Shard of Instinct out here because I want to be able to guaranteed cast Balthazar next turn. Vampire King's a card that's kind of scary for us, but I think Balthazar's going to let us go over the top of that. Giant Corpse Fly. Okay, really don't care about that one right now. We're just going to bin this Artisanal Cheesesmith. So we discard a card when Corpse Fly comes into play. We're going to draw 5 and gain 5 next turn, so like getting a little bit of 2-for-1 kind of. Not that this card's even really going to pressure us. Now I think once we pick up 5 cards next turn, he's probably going to be a little bit too far behind for VK to catch him up. Yes, correct. That's the combo in this deck. So when this card gets inspired by Azure Fate Sorceress, it basically just doesn't die. As soon as it comes back into play, the 2/2 deals 2 damage to your opponent, and then it flips itself back right away. And if Azure Fate's still in play when it comes back, it gets inspired again and deals damage equal to its power twice. Having played the Rabbit Rock side of this matchup, this card is just like the worst feeling in the game. It's just like your opponent plays it and you just want to like throw up all over the place. Oh, I missed a... That was sloppy. I just clicked too fast. This should have attacked. Opponent's deck does feature... So, like, opponent's deck is heavily interactive and features probably 3 to 4 copies of Extinction in the main deck. So, definitely something we need to be aware of while we're playing. I have Creation's not bad. So, let's go ahead and play Chlorophylia out here to accelerate. Just thin the deck out a little bit more. I'm going to activate Uzzu so that way we can get our Ruby Shard, so Azure Fate deals direct damage here. Play this out. If he has a removal spell for Mosswood, he needs to do it now. And the sweet thing about Extinction here is even if he has Extinction to play, this Mosswood's going to come back after he casts it. It won't be unkillable because it hasn't gotten inspired by the Azure Fate, but it's still pretty good. I missed 5 points of damage here, basically, because I should have done this last turn and he would have chumped then. So I'm 5 points of damage behind because I clicked past an attack step. Closed Coffins does stop the Wrathwood bounce, correct. Closed Coffins is very, very good against this deck. Post reserves, we're going to diversify our threat portfolio a little bit and probably board out some of the acceleration so we just have a higher... Opponent missed 2 points of damage, so we got that going for us. The nice thing here is if they don't play something to block with, this is going to get to turn back into a 5/5. So do you have a rabbit? Okay, no rabbit for my opponent means that we're going to go ahead and transform this back unless they have something weird like a main deck rock cast. So let's go ahead and play this. Deal damage to you. There's a possibility I should play one of these two out just because like my opponent could have Inquisition, but so long as I have one of these two in my hand, we should be pretty good this game. So opponent's like needs another... Opponent like needs another Extinction like right now, and even if they hit Extinction right now, this Eye of Creation could just crush them. They need Extinction to deal with the Azure Fate Sorceress. And again, even if they have Extinction, this card's going to come back as a 2/2 that can then flip back into a 5/5. It's like, I think this matchup's bad for Rabbit Rock. They just, like, you have a lot of resilience. You mean quick things? Yeah, there's quick is a subtype in Hex, so like there's troops that have quick and all actions. All right, rise again, sure. So you have a Vampire King, so opponent is likely dead here. We're gonna go ahead and cycle the Shard Prism at end step here. Just get another card out. Grab a second Sapphire, because why not? So we're going to Eye of Creation for 7 this turn, which, if Eye of Creation for 7 hits anywhere close to average, it's probably just going to kill our opponent off of Azure Fate Sorceress. Let's see how lucky or unlucky. Yeah, opponent is dead, almost dead. Almost dead. So, oh yeah, we hit a Wrathwood Moss Monster too, yeah. So opponent is just dead. I don't like Eye of Creation as a card, but when I play new deck lists, I like to play them card for card what the person that was successful with the deck played, just to like get a feel for why they made the decisions they made. I mean, this card is obviously powerful in this deck. I don't think that's any stretch at all. Frost Wizard would stop Moss Recursion as well. That is correct. Boom, headshot. Yeah, that's the best way to put what just happened there. Boom, headshot. How many troops? I think I want to cut Cluckadon here. I can also see cutting Wellspring. Yeah, I'm actually going to cut Wellspring. So I think we want to... So one of the things that ramp decks traditionally do in matchups against like what my opponent's playing in these attrition-based matchups where they have sweepers, you want to kind of board into a slower, slightly more consistent deck where your average threat density is higher. So like we're just bringing in more higher impact cards. And like cutting these low impacts like Howling Brave and Wellspring help us like explode, but our opponent can often deal with our deck when it explodes. So let's just be slightly more consistent here. I'm bringing in the Transmografades to deal with the Vampire Kings because they're kind of scary for us in the air. And I'm bringing in the Mass Polymorph Dinglers because like that card just goes over the top of what our opponent's doing as well. The 360 no scope, yep, basically. Yeah, I think this hand's fine. Again, we boarded out a lot of acceleration, so we're just trying to aiming to play like a slightly slower, more consistent game. This is going to be our last match of Hex for the day. I need to spend time playing Standard for this upcoming weekend. So, thanks everyone for hanging out. We're going to have 1 or 2 more games here, depending on how this game goes for us. 4-1 in this gauntlet with Uzzu Cannon. It's my first time playing the deck. Deck seems really obnoxious and powerful. Yeah, this deck's a sweet Eternal Sage deck. This card just does a little bit of everything. Okay, shards are great. Get to play Wrathwood on time. This card doesn't do a whole lot in this matchup. It's just like a 4/4 that gains 4, but I think that's fine on average. Like, the fact when games go long, having the ability to gain life is definitely good. Your life total is a very real resource. If opponent plays Princess, we actually have Eye of Creation stuck in our hand, which is not great. Transmografade. That's a card we want to deal with this Vampire Princess, but it also means we now have 2 out of 7 cards in our hand that our opponent can steal with Vampire Princess. So hopefully we hit the right side of this die roll. So opponent, when Vampire Princess hits us, it reveals a random. That's unfortunate. I guess he wants to take Transmografade here. I think you're supposed to attack with this first. Because, like, that way you have a higher chance of hitting actions you might care about. Because, like, out of all these cards, I guess I could see him taking Wrathwood Moss Monster. Like, maybe he wants to clear a troop away so he has a higher chance to hit one of my few actions. That's a chicken. It is, in fact, a chicken dinosaur. You are not wrong. Bird dinosaur. Yep, he took Wrathwood. Okay, so now he's got a 2/3 chance, or 1/3 chance, so... Oh, please, RNGesus. Sweet. Sweet. Great. He could have another Inquisition here. I board up to all 4 Inquisitions. Oh, he could also hit it off of this. God bless America. That sucks. So he's going to re-Inquisition us and probably take the Transmog now. If he doesn't take the Transmog here, I'm cycling Shard Prism. Alright, now we're just going to draw for the turn. Let's play this out. Gain 4. So now 1 in 4 chance to lose our Eye of Creation here. Lost that coin flip. So Eye of Creation gets taken out of our hand, and our opponent gets it into theirs as a Vampire Kiss. Okay, so this feels really bad because we have another Eternal Sage in our hand that our opponent knows about, which means that if they have Extinction or Reap here, they can kill this Eternal Sage to get rid of this other one out of our hand. In addition to all the other ones in our deck, of course. So making a Sapphire there with Uzzu means this doesn't get ready on our opponent's next turn. So if they don't have a removal spell for this, we are going to get to apply a lot of pressure here. Alrighty. Yeah, so this card, whenever any troop dies on your opponent's side, it basically surgically extracts that troop from your opponent's deck. So I'm going to go ahead and play a second Eternal Sage out here because there's no reason not to extend, because if he kills this one's going to get exiled from our hand. I'm going to play a Shard of Savagery here, and when this happens, we make Ruby, and then Eternal Sage does 1 damage to each of our opponent's things. It's very possible I should have waited on activating Uzzu last turn, because like if I would have saved Uzzu for this turn, I could have made a second Ruby, but we couldn't have known that we were going to draw another Ruby Shard there and that this was going to live, so I think it was right just to push damage like we did, prevent him from gaining a little bit of life. Okay, and opponent goes to 14. They have Greenpaw Emancipator here, or Extinction. Like I said, we couldn't play around Extinction because of Closed Coffin, so... Wow, just stone nothing, huh? Alright, well, let's play this and get a Wild Shard. So I'm targeting here, and I'm targeting here, and the reason why I'm doing this is kill only kills non-artifact troops. So if my opponent has a kill for the Clockadon, they are still dead here, and it looks like that's what they had. So yeah, 5-1 in my first gauntlet with Uzzu Cannon. That's pretty good. We are going to call it a day for Hex, so appreciate everyone tuning in for some of that. Again, just wanted to... The kids were asleep already, and I wanted to get